हेलो एवरीवन। हम लोग सप्लाई पूरा पढ़ चुके हैं। नाउ व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू, फर्स्ट वी विल बी रिवाइजिंग द सप्लाई क्विक फायर राउंड में, एंड देन we will look into the types of questions those are asked by institute on the topics whatever we have studied till now. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं हम लोग सप्लाई के बारे में। तो सबसे पहले टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई where tax is payable under forward charge. This column will talk you about the goods under section 12, and this will talk about the services under section 13. So in the case of goods under forward charge, time of supply is earlier of date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice under section 31, whichever is earlier. There is one more term which talks about receipt of payment, but because of notification number 66 of 2017, no GST is payable on advances received for supply of goods as far as forward charge is concerned. So effectively we have only two dates only. One is last date for issue of invoice, that is due date, and another one is issue of invoice. As far as services are concerned, time of supply of services under forward charge under section 13, we have three different methods or three different terminologies here. One is where invoice is issued within the time limit. If the answer is yes, then we will be using the method A. Or if invoice is not issued within the time limit, we will be using method B. And where we conclude that A and B both are not applicable, then we will be using method number C. So if the invoice is issued within the time limit prescribed under section 31, if you are able to issue the invoice within the time limit which is prescribed under section 31, time of supply will be earliest of the following: date of issue of invoice by the supplier or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. And if the invoice is not issued within the time limit as prescribed under section 31, time of supply will be earlier of the following: date of provision of service or date of receipt of payment. And when above events are unascertainable, if you are unable to identify time of supply as per above events, then time of supply will be date on which the recipient shows the receipt of service in his books of account. And as far as date of receipt of payment means, it means earliest of the payment recorded in the books of account or credit in the bank account, whichever is earlier. So date of receipt of payment is date of entry in the books of account or credit in the bank account, whichever is earlier. So we studied that we need to be aware about the due date for issue of invoice. Here we are going to talk about the general time limit for issue of invoice, only a general time limit, not for the time limit for issue of invoice in all the cases. So in the case of goods, which is given under section 31, and in the case of services, it is also given under section 31. So in the case of goods, if goods involves movement from place 1 to place 2, if there is movement of goods, invoice has to be issued on or before removal of the goods. अगर लोकेशन 1 से लोकेशन 2 के तरफ गुड्स का मूवमेंट हो रहा है, in that case invoice has to be issued on or before removal of the goods. And if there is no movement involved, invoice has to be issued on or before delivery of the goods or making goods available. In the case of services, invoice has to be issued within 30 days from the provision of service, that means completion of service. जब आप सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर दोगे, सर्विस प्रोवाइड करना जब कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, उसके बाद में विदिन 30 days you are supposed to issue the invoice. However, in the case of insurance companies, banking companies and financial institutions including NBFCs etc., you are supposed to issue invoice within 45 days of provision of service. This we talked about the general time limit for issue of invoice. There are some specific cases as well. For example, In the case of goods, we have specific case of continuous supply. In the case of goods, we have specific case of continuous supply. Sale on a return basis or approval basis, right? In the case of services as well, we have a case of continuous supply and cessation of service as well. So those time limits you are supposed to be aware about it, because if in the examination question is asked, we must be able to answer it. उन एरियाज पर भी हम लोगों ने क्वेश्चंस को प्रैक्टिस ऑलरेडी किया है. सो आप लोग इफ यू फील दैट यू नीड देम, तो इसके आगे आप वो ये पैरामीटर्स भी लिख सकते हो, प्लेस कर सकते हो. टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई where GST is payable on reverse charge basis, means recipient is supposed to identify the time of supply. As far as goods is concerned, which is again given under section 12, it is earliest of the following. डेट ऑफ रिसिप्ट ऑफ द गुड्स, आपको गुड्स की रिसिप्ट कब हुई वो डेट, और डेट ऑफ पेमेंट बाय रिसिपिएंट, और 31st डे फ्रॉम डेट ऑफ इशू ऑफ इनवॉइस. इनवॉइस जब इशू किया उसके बाद में 31st डे. And if you are unable to identify time of supply as per above rules, that means above events are unascertainable, time of supply shall be date of entry in the books of account of the recipient of the supply. In the case of time of supply of services, those are taxable under reverse charge mechanism, which is given under section 13. We have one general rule which is applicable for all kinds of domestic transactions, whether you are undertaking it with associated enterprises or non-associated enterprises. And this general rule is simultaneously applicable on import of services from non-AE. This specific rule is applicable only for import of services from your associated enterprises, right? So general rule is that in the case of services, those are taxable under reverse charge mechanism. Time of supply is date of payment by recipient or 61st day from date of issue of invoice. आपका सप्लायर आपको जब इनवॉइस इशू करेगा उसके बाद में 61st डे. And in this case as well, if you are unable to identify time of supply as per above rules, then time of supply will be date of entry in the books of account of the recipient of supply. And in the case of import of services from associated enterprises, time of supply is date of entry of service in the books of account of the recipient of supply, or date on which payment is made by the recipient of supply, whichever is earlier. And meaning of term date of payment is again same, that is date of payment as per books of account of the recipient or debit in the bank account of the recipient. This rule is common for goods. This rule is applicable for goods as well as for services. This is a common rule applicable in both the cases. This general time limit is applicable for all domestic transactions. Those are taxable under a reverse charge basis, whether it is between associated enterprises or between non-associated enterprises. Plus, this general time limit is applicable for import of services from non-associated enterprises, means non-A. That means this particular rule, this specific rule, import of services from associated enterprises is applicable only when there is import of services. आप services का import कर रहे हो, plus this import is from the associated enterprises. If you are able to satisfy both of these conditions, then only this rule will be applicable जो अभी हमने पढ़ा है. Okay, so you must be aware about this. आगे बढ़ते हुए, Time of supply for vouchers exchangeable for goods and services. That means this is a common rule applicable for goods as well as for services. Goods के लिए भी यही rule है and at the same time services के लिए भी same rule है. So supply of vouchers, those are exchangeable for goods and services. Goods के लिए section 12, services के लिए section 13. If intended supply is identifiable at the time of issue of voucher, जब आप voucher issue कर रहे हो at that time if the intended supply is identifiable, time of supply will be date of issue of voucher, and in any other case it will be date of redemption of voucher. If intended supply is unidentifiable or not identifiable, it will be date of redemption of voucher. Time of supply of goods and services in residual cases. This will be applicable only when the earlier rules are not applicable. This is a common rule for goods under section 12 and services under section 13. Where periodical return is required to be filed, due date of filing periodical return, the word is used due date, not the actual date, and in any other case, date of payment of GST. This fundamental will be applicable generally only if you are registered under GST law. Otherwise, you will take date of payment of tax as the time of supply. Time of supply for addition in value by way of interest or late fee or penalty for delayed payment of consideration. यानी कि मान लेते हैं आपने क्रेडिट में यानी कि उधारी में कुछ सेल किया है और उस क्रेडिट में यानी कि उधारी में सेल करने के बाद जो आपने टाइम पीरियड दिया था कि विद इन XYZ नंबर ऑफ डेज आपको पेमेंट हो जाना चाहिए, अदरवाइज आप इंटरेस्ट और पेनल्टी चार्ज करोगे फॉर डिलेड इन मेकिंग द पेमेंट, तो वो जो इंटरेस्ट और पेनल्टी हम चार्ज कर रहे हैं उसका टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई क्या रहेगा हम लोग ये पढ़ रहे हैं. So in case of addition in value by way of interest, late fee, penalty for delayed payment of consideration, time of supply will be date on which supplier received such addition in value. This is what the general case, or these are what the general rules applicable for goods and services. We studied both of them in combined way, in a comparative way. If you want, you can make up a small chart, something like this. Time of supply of goods under forward charge. These are 3 instances. And this is the notification reference. Time of supply of goods under reverse charge. These are few instances on which you determine time of supply. And if above events are unascertainable, then date of entry in the recipient's books of account. And these 2 dates means date of payment in books of account or bank account. Vouchers, date of issue of voucher or date of redemption of voucher. Residual case and addition in value by way of late fees, penalty, etc. Right? And if you want to verify same thing for services, then it can be like this. Time of supply of services, in case invoice is issued within time limit, then this is the rule. If not issued within the time limit, this is the rule. And if unascertainable, you will apply this rule. Reverse charge, you will apply this rule. If above events are unascertainable, you will apply this rule. Vouchers, residual case, and if you want at the same time, you can add few details here that we say import of services from AE and advances up to ₹1000 वाला rule. You can add up here. So अगर आपको इंडिपेंडेंटली पढ़ना है गुड्स का तो आप गुड्स का इंडिपेंडेंटली पढ़ सकते हो, सर्विसेज पढ़ना है सर्विसेज इंडिपेंडेंटली पढ़ सकते हो, कंबाइन पढ़ना है कंबाइन भी आप लोग पढ़ सकते हो. Now let's continue our part which we were revising or which we were taking into consideration. Let's continue it. So time of supply in the case of change in the rate of tax. So in the case of change in the rate of tax, आप time of supply आपका depend करता है on 3 events. Your time of supply is dependent on 3 events. These events are date of supply of goods, आपने supply कब किया या services supply कब किया, date of invoice or date of receipt of payment. So if supply is before the change in the rate of tax, invoice is also before the change in the rate of tax, so you have 2 events before the change in the rate of tax, right? So GST rate will be old rate. You will be applying old rate, and in the combination one event is supply, another event is invoice. Supply कभी time of supply हो नहीं सकता, तो time of supply will be date of issue of invoice. If supply is before, invoice is after, and receipt of payment is before, 2 events are prior to the change in the tax, the rate will be old rate. In the combination we have supply and receipt of payment. Supply हमारा कभी भी time of supply नहीं हो सकता, तो time of supply will be date of receipt of payment. If supply is before, invoice is after, receipt of payment is after, 2 events are after, so time to your rate will be new rate. And in the combination you have invoice date and receipt of payment date, so time of supply will be date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. If supply date is after, invoice date is again after, supply भी after में है, invoice भी after में है, 2 event after the change in the tax rate है, therefore GST will be charged by applying new rate. And in the combination one event is supply, another event is invoice. Supply कभी भी time of supply हो नहीं सकता, तो time of supply will be date of issue of invoice. If supply date is after, receipt of payment date is after, 2 events are after the change in the rate of tax, right? So GST rate will be new rate. You will charge GST by applying new rate, and in the combination you have supply and receipt of payment, so time of supply will be date of receipt of payment. If invoice is before, receipt of payment is before, 2 events are before the change in the tax rate, so you will be applying new rate. Two events are before the change in the tax rate, so you will be applying old rate. You will be applying here old rate, and in the combination you have invoice and payment, so time of supply will be earlier of date of issue of invoice and receipt of payment. So new rate 3 instances, old rate 2 plus 1 3 instances, 1 is here. Right? This is how you are supposed to do for time of supply in the case of change in the rate of tax. Apart from this, आप लोगों को ये भी याद रखना है कि सेक्शन 12 किसका है, 13 किसका है, 14 किसका है, सेक्शन 31 किसका है. और अगर आप लोगों ने ये रिवीजन और समरी वाला चीज देखा होगा, तो एट ऑन वन पेज यू कैन राइट रूल्स ऑफ द गुड्स, एट वन पेज यू कैन राइट रूल्स ऑफ द सर्विसेज, एट वन पेज यू कैन राइट कंपैरेटिव चार्ट. सो 2 या 3 पेजेस में ये पूरा चैप्टर आप रिवाइज कर सकते हो. This kind of summaries or revision charts will be useful one day before the exam or on the day of exam. Quickly एक बार revise कर लिया और exam में चले गए. क्योंकि humanly it will not be possible to revise all the questions and all the provisions. तो जहां पर हम लोग summary या charts बना सकते हैं वहां पर हमने बनाने चाहिए. जैसे हमने supply जब पढ़ा उसका भी summary देखा, टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई पढ़ा उसका भी समरी पढ़ा. तो जो जो बड़े चैप्टर्स है एंड जहां पे समरी इज पॉसिबल, जो जो बड़े चैप्टर है प्लस वेयर समरी इज पॉसिबल, वहां पर हमने समरी बनानी चाहिए. जहां पे रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है या समरी बनाना पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, वहां पर हमने ज्यादा सोचना भी नहीं चाहिए। करेक्ट। तो ये तो हमारे आज के एजेंडा का पहला पार्ट। फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ आवर एजेंडा वाज टू रिवाइज द टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई. Now we will be moving towards the second part of our agenda for this video. So our second part is to check the एग्जामिनेशन पेपर्स, किस किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और कितने मार्क्स का अभी तक हम सॉल्व कर पाएंगे। तो इसको मैं ब्रेक करता हूं अलग अलग पार्ट्स में। एट पार्ट ए वी विल बी लुकिंग इनटू द क्वेश्चंस ऑफ बेसिक प्लस इंट्रोडक्शन प्लस इंपॉर्टेंट डेफिनेशन। ठीक है। In the part B we will be looking on the questions on supply, including schedules, including schedule 1, 2 and 3, right, plus composite and mixed supply. And at the end, in the part C, we will be looking on the question of time of supply plus your invoicing rules or provisions. So in these three parts we are going to look upon कि कौन से questions आ सकते हैं. We will try to look two papers. So I will write here paper 1. ठीक है। सो पहले हम लोग पेपर 1 देखने की कोशिश करते हैं। लेट्स ट्राई टू स्टार्ट विथ द पेपर 1। ओके, सो एमसीक्यू पैटर्न में, सो फर्स्ट वी आर लुकिंग एट द ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चंस। सो 1A, so in the 1A what we can solve or try to solve, वन ए रोमन 2 आप लोग सॉल्व कर सकते हो अगर आप इसको ठीक से पढ़ोगे तो। शेड्यूल 3 नेगेटिव लिस्ट को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये क्वेश्चन है। ठीक है, आई विल नॉट गिव यू द आंसर, आई विल जस्ट टेल यू द क्वेश्चन। आपको अपने लेवल पर उसको जज करके सॉल्व करना है। जीएसटी इज पेएबल इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ द सर्विसेज रेंडर्ड टू एन एम्प्लॉयर बाय एन एम्प्लॉई। अगर रेगुलर बेसिस इन द कोर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट है तो जीएसटी पेएबल नहीं है। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बेसिस बट नॉट इन द कोर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट है तो नॉट इन द कोर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट है तो जीएसटी आ सकता है। ठीक है, सी एंड डी को तो सोचने की फिर जरूरत है ही नहीं। तो ये शेड्यूल 3 और सप्लाई के बेसिक कंसेप्ट को लिंक कर क्वेश्चन है। सो आई विल राइट इट हियर इन द सप्लाई कॉलम। सो हियर वी हैव 1 mark, right? We have question of 1 marker. ठीक है, let us proceed further. Then following taxes are leviable on interstate supply of goods under GST law. interstate पे आप कौन सा टैक्स लेवी करते हो? interstate हमने पढ़ा है, इंट्रास्टेट पे कौन सा टैक्स आता है और इंटरस्टेट पे कौन सा टैक्स आता है, राइट? आईजीएसटी आता है या फिर कोई और टैक्स आता है, वो आपको बताना है। सो ये क्वेश्चन भी हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं जो कि पूछा गया है या फिर जो हमने पढ़ा था बेसिक इंट्रो एंड इंपॉर्टेंट डेफिनेशन वाले चैप्टर में, बराबर है। सो 1 मार्क का यहां पर भी सॉल्व कर सकते हो। आगे बढ़ते हुए, मैच द फॉलोइंग, हेडक्वार्टर ऑफ जीएसटी काउंसिल इज एट, ये आप बता सकते हो, राइट? इंट्रोडक्शन में पढ़ा था हमने। सो वी कैन ऐड 1 more mark here. Then स्पेशल पर्पज व्हीकल टू कैटर द नीड्स ऑफ द जीएसटी गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्स नेटवर्क करके कुछ हमने पढ़ा था। सो यू कैन ऐड 1 more mark हियर। देन आगे बढ़ते हुए, स्टेट ट्रू और फॉल्स, द स्कोप ऑफ सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स और सर्विसेज इंक्लूड्स सर्विसेज इंक्लूड्स इंटर अलिया सेल एक्सचेंज एंड लीज, तो सेल एक्सचेंज एंड लीज आता है, हमने सप्लाई के डेफिनेशन में पढ़ा था, सो वी कैन ऐड वन मोर मार्क हियर. देन a registered person under GST law gives a free spoon along with every soap purchase. This is a case of composite supply. True or false आपको बताना है. I am not going to give you the answer. I am just trying to show you the questions. So you can add composite and mixed supply, one mark here. Then fill in the blank. License to occupy land is treated as supply of services है मेरे ख्याल से, बाकी आप लोग देख सकते हो. तो ये composite and mixed supply में we can add one more mark. Okay. Thereafter state briefly the features of GSTN and role assigned to it, 7 mark. You can solve this from this introductory part. Then which are the commodities proposed to be kept outside the purview of GST? You can solve this for 2 marks, right? So you can write it here. Okay. Let's go. Let's try to see what else we can solve from this portion. This question number 6A Roman 2. Miss Antira, a registered person, supplies certain goods to Mr. G, also a registered person. The tax in respect of the said goods is liable to be paid on reverse charge basis. Other details of the transaction are as follow. तो it is supply of goods, goods का supply है, tax is paid on reverse charge basis. So date of receipt of goods दे दिया, date on which payment is made and entered in the books of account दे दिया, date when the payment is debited in the bank account दे दिया, डेट ऑफ इश्यू ऑफ इनवॉइस भी दे दिया, एंड डेट इमीडिएटली फॉलोइंग 30 डेज भी दे दिया, यानी 31st डे भी दे दिया. तो आपके पास में रिसिप्ट ऑफ गुड्स पता है 2611 है. डेट ऑफ पेमेंट अर्लियर ऑफ एंट्री इन बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट और डेबिट इन बैंक अकाउंट, तो इट विल बी 22 दिसंबर एंड 31st डे इज 21 दिसंबर. तो 26/11, 22/12 और 21/12 यू कैन इजीली सॉल्व दिस. So this Roman 2 is for, you are required to identify time of supply under reverse charge basis for 4 marks. So time of supply, on time of supply as well we have a question which is worth 4 marks. 4 marks का question time of supply पर भी हमारे पास available है. Okay. आगे देखते हैं. Write short note on composite supply for 5 marks. You can definitely write it. Right, composite supply क्या है, mix supply क्या हमने पढ़ा है. So composite and mix supply पे 5 marks का यहाँ पर भी पूछा है. So done. So done सर. इसके अलावा और कोई सवाल है नहीं जीएसटी से इस पर्टिकुलर पेपर से. ठीक है. I will try to insert some space. I am trying but I am unable. ये हो नहीं रहा है. I don't know why. Not possible. Okay, let it be. ठीक है. So this is paper 1. We have studied or analyzed or tried to analyze. Now let us go on the paper 2. Let us check another paper. Okay, let's check this paper. So objective questions, how many marks we can solve? Let's try to check it out. This Roman 3, the period of issuance of tax invoice in the case of provision of service. सर्विस के लिए टैक्स इनवॉइस इशू करने का पीरियड क्या है? जनरली 45 डेज. क्या जनरली 45 डेज है? जनरली 30 डेज. और इन द केस ऑफ बैंकिंग 60 days. Generally 30 days, and in the case of banking companies 45 days. So you can definitely solve this and tell the within how many number of days invoice has to be issued. ठीक है? So time of supply plus invoicing rules 1 marks or 1 mark. Let us go further. Match the following: distinct person, different GSTIN but one person. So distinct person you can definitely solve this. हम लोगों ने इसे सप्लाई में पढ़ा था, तो ये हुआ 1 mark. Then sale of building, non taxable supply, right? This is 1 mark. One more mark. Then let us go for forward. Then this true or false you can definitely solve. Composite and mixed supply, 1 mark. Let us go fill in the blank. Gifts schedule 1 के ऊपर है. Gifts exceeding dash in value in a financial year by an employer to employee shall constitute supply of goods or services or both. You can definitely solve this. So we can add here 1 more mark. Then explain the concept of composite and mixed supply with reference to the provisions of the CGST Act and give at least one example. So composite and mixed supply and its example, 7 marks. Let us find out what else we can solve from this particular paper. Determine the time of supply of goods. Goods का question है ये. In the following independent situations as per the GST law and give brief reason. So 1, 2, 3. 3 independent cases, 5 marks. रिमूवल का डेट दे दिया आपको. रिसिप्ट ऑफ गुड्स दे दिया, ये कोई काम का नहीं है. इश्यू ऑफ इनवॉइस दे दिया. पेमेंट डेट दे दिया, तो ड्यू डेट भी आप निकाल सकते हो. 5 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है ये. 5 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन किसके ऊपर है? टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई के ऊपर है. Then let us proceed. Okay, then we have customs. So इतने questions हम लोग solve कर सकते हैं. So let's try to make it a total. Sum up करने की हम कोशिश करते हैं कि कितने मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस हम इन दोनों पैटर्न पे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. तो पेपर 1 में जो हमने देखा बेसिक प्लस इंट्रो 1, 2, 3 और 7, 10 प्लस 2 12 मार्क्स. ओके. सप्लाई, कंपोजिट एंड मिक्स सप्लाई 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 9 marks, and time of supply plus invoicing 4 marks. Okay, if we go to the paper 2, so यहाँ पे तो सर नील है. And supply plus composite and mix supply 1, 2, 3, 4 और 7 11 marks. Here 1 plus 5 6 marks. Okay, so these are number of marks or for which questions are asked. So in paper 1, section A was 12 mark, B was for 9 marks and C was for 4 marks. So if we make a total of this, A plus B plus C कितना हो रहा देखिए, 12 plus 9 21 plus 4 25, so it can be somewhere between 25 marks, and here 11 plus 6 17 marks. Okay, so this way you can understand or it is clear कि ये जो 3 chapters है इन्हें अगर हम ठीक से कर लेवे तो एटलीस्ट 10 मार्क्स का तो सर मिनिमम एग्जाम में कंटेंट हम एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं. इट कैन बी हायर देन दैट, बट एक लोअर साइड में अगर देखा जाए तो ये जो बेसिक इंट्रो एंड डेफिनेशन है इसके ऊपर पेपर 2 में तो नील था, लेकिन ये जो बी एंड सी है इसमें देखिए 9 मार्क्स, 11 मार्क्स, 4 मार्क्स, 6 मार्क्स. सो यू नो कि ये दोनों चैप्टर्स हमारे लिए फ्रीक्वेंसी एंड नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस के हिसाब से थोड़े ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकते हैं. अगर हम कोई और पेपर का भी एनालिसिस करने के लिए बैठते तो उसमें भी सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस और सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ सिनारियोज हमें देखने जरूर मिलते थे या जरूर मिलेंगे. तो रिवाइज करते रहिए, पढ़ते रहिए. नाउ अब जब जैसे जैसे मैं आगे और चैप्टर्स करते जाऊंगा, I will not take out these papers and start analyzing after each and every chapter. 2 या 3 बार मैंने आपको एनालिसिस कर दिया इंडिपेंडेंट चैप्टर वाइज भी और टोटल लेवल पर भी. सो अभी आपकी ड्यूटी है या आपका काम है कि आप समय के साथ एट रेगुलर इंटरवल्स कितने मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, कैसे क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, उन्हें आप एनालाइज करना शुरू रखो. और किसी भी पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में स्टैंडर्ड आंसर या जो रिलेटिव कंटेंट जो है वो कितना होना चाहिए, वो कैसा होना चाहिए, इसका भी आप अपने लेवल पर जजमेंट लेना स्टार्ट रखो. सो कंटिन्यू रखो अपनी स्टडीज. अगले वीडियो में हम कोई और चैप्टर शुरू करेंगे. विच चैप्टर इट विल बी वो मैं आपको नेक्स्ट वीडियो में ही बताऊंगा. और इतना जो हमने पढ़ा इसके ऊपर अगर आपको कुछ क्वेरीज है या कुछ किंतु परंतु है या कुछ पूछना है तो आप लोग मुझे पूछ सकते हो. सो वी एंड दिस वीडियो हियर. थैंक यू.